Hello traders, welcome to a Q&A session. Today is Saturday, August 10th, and we're going to pick a question that I said I was going to answer in the Q&A over the weekend. This question comes from Max, okay? And I think that his question is in regards to, well, I think, no, we're going to read it. But his question is regards to order flows and, you know, how sometimes one may look like another. From the chart he posted, it's not completely clear, but we're going to drill into the chart, and based on the information that we have, we're going to make an assumption because we have to, and then from there we will move price forward. But let's first attack the questions one by one, since there are quite a few of them on there, and then we'll drill into his chart, and then we'll redefine some things a little better. So he says, "Hi Mr. Pip, I am following your channel on YouTube as well as on your live streams, which I find a terrific value. Thank you, Max, for that. More power to you, and tons of thanks for sharing. It's my pleasure. I have a question regarding the numerous nuances I find as I try to go deep into my studies of your methodology. How to address the swings in the picture. I hope the picture itself is self-explanatory, but to recap, here we have a bearish swing that takes place out of the previous higher low. So he's talking about this swing right here. Out of the previous higher low would be this one. Okay. Effectively inverting the present order flows direction. Inverting the present order flows direction, I guess, because we went from a new structure high to a new structure low. So I guess there was an expectation failure somewhere down here, which is not identified, but we'll get to that. Direction. What is now my main swing? The blue or the yellow? The yellow or the blue? Okay. Please note that both refers to the same order flow. So I guess this and this all refer to the same order flow, according to you, Max. So I assume that my question differs from the one you answered in your last video. Thanks a lot, and see everybody tomorrow, Max. Max, thank you for your question. When I do these Q&As based on questions that you guys post, in no means am I trying to single you out or to put you in a position where you feel that you don't know what you're doing or anything along those lines. Quite the contrary, I think the question is very valid, and I single it out and make a Q&A video on it because I think enough people are having similar issues, and I believe that the question merits better, deeper explanation than I would be able to achieve by trying to type out a bunch of things and present a chart. I think that it's clearer and better to make a short video on it. So the purpose of the Q&A videos is because it's a good question that I find gives people overall in general problems with, and that it creates better value and content to make a video on it versus answer a specific question and then maybe not be able to, in words or typing it out in a post, do it more justice with a visual chart. So please do not take offense to any Q&A questions that I post or make videos on. It is not meant to be insulting in any way. Okay, but let's get into the chart here. Okay, so from the questions you said that you had a new structure low that changed the order flow. Okay, so when I said that there was an assumption that we needed to make, is because we don't know what the main swing is here because you haven't put it out. So we have to assume that this was a new structure high, and we have to assume that the new structure low failed because this swing down here was ended higher, okay, than this point. Okay, right now we're not sure because there's nothing to see here that helps me understand what the main swing is going back. Okay, but having this drawn the way you drew it tells me that we had a new structure high, we had a complex correction, and price fell below and closed below the previous main swing that maybe came from here to here or somewhere higher than this point. Okay, at this point, this is a complex correction to the downside. Okay, and then the proper way to look at this from a main swing standpoint is from this high to this low is now the main swing. Why? Because you have a point here that has no structure at all in reference to the overall main swing, right? It's just a complex correction. It is shorter term order flow that may make a lower high, retest, an attempt to correct here, and then another new structure low in the short-term order flow, but many times when we see price make a higher low in this case here, and then what you would think would be a new structure high, and then price goes on to close lower, sometimes we lose a little bit of situational awareness, and because we break below this, we assume that the expectation has failed and that we've made an overall new structure low. That may or may not be the case. To answer that question, we must first go back to what our main swing used to be and see if we close below that or close above that, and that tells us whether the expectation played out or whether the expectation failed. But due to what we have here in front of us, we're assuming that we had a proper and correct new structure low, and this was the previous new structure high, making this a complex correction, and identifying the main swing from the highest point to the lowest point. Okay, and this being just shorter term order flow or complex price action, complex swings, complex correction, whatever you want to call it. Okay, there is no expectation failure here, okay, based on what you have drawn out, and it's improper because of what I just said to call this here the lower high and then a new structure low, making this the main swing. Okay, is this a lower high? Yes, but is it relevant to the previous main swing? Yeah, it's a lower high from that, but does it bear any weight or significance in the overall main swing general order flow? It does not. Okay, the expectation, no matter how many times this bounces around in here, okay, is still a complex price action. In fact, we see this moving forward. Okay, we have a proper new structure low here, which we're assuming because we don't have the information that we need, but we have this clear high and clear low. So the blue line is the main swing. It is the proper main swing. Okay, and now we have price dancing around what appears to have made a new high here. Okay, but this is just complex price action because our main swing, our proper main swing, is from here to here. Okay, and it's not uncommon to see that we have a new structure high and a new structure low all within the same swing, in the main swing, that the market becomes somewhat confused directionally for a little while. We tend to see some consolidation, we tend to see some range bound price action because we have two expectations and we don't know exactly which side, okay, is going to prevail, as both sides are going to fight to what? Regain what they've lost. Okay, but what is the expectation that we hold on to? The one that most recently played out, because that one should not have been allowed, and that is a sign of strength coming into the market in that direction and weakness building on the opposite side for allowing that to happen. Okay, so it's important to make that distinction, and it's important to not let yourselves, because of what the chart may look like, because we have a clear high, clear low, clear lower high here, retest, and then a clear new structure low, that this will be the main swing. The way you have your landmarks identified, the main swing can only be your blue line. Okay, and this is not, okay, an expectation failure. Okay, so swing A is your main swing. Swing B is a shorter term order flow that has not achieved anything but a new structure low in the immediate and in the regular order flow, but that changes the dynamics of this swing to look for the proper main swing, and you have to go back to the previous structure that you had accomplished. Okay, so higher low from swing A or new structure high from swing B. I'm trying to find swing A and swing B. Oh, swing A is the light blue line. Okay, and swing B is the yellow line. Okay, so there is no new structure high here. Is there a new structure high here in the most immediate order flow? Yes. Does this create a complex correction within the general order flow, within the main swing? Yes, it does. It's no different than saying this, let's say this had not made a new structure low on the previous main swing, that we would have a complex price action. That's where we look for the SOS3 signals, right? We see a 1-to-1 ABCD completion here, and we enter in that D for that expectation of that new structure high. You see me do that all the time. This will be the same thing. Let's say that, for example, this is our main swing, right? And we have complex price action here, and we have a high here. This just, now there's no minor correction or anything here that you can use from a harmonic standpoint that I can see to give you some confluence here into a D something, so you can take the aggressive C sell into the new expectation of the new structure low, since that's the expectation that's most valuable to us. Okay. Now you should expect, when you have that expectation failure, so that's why we expect deep corrections, because there's some money that may need to be rescued. There's you know, the losing side is going to try to recover that back. All these things should push for a more significant investment on their part, causing price to correct deeper. Okay. When we have new structure highs and new structure lows all within the same swing, okay, like this, then you tend to have more range bound price action. Price seems to get confused for a little while, or there may be a power struggle going on that's going to create a balanced situation in the market until some of that gets you know, accumulated, and then imbalance should follow the new expected structure expectation. Okay, so I hope that answers your question. I hope that that's clear. You know, to answer this question with a better sense of clarity, I would need to see the previous main swing. But if you have labeled this correctly, the proper swing here to call your main swing is the blue line, and I hope that I've done a good job explaining that, and I hope you understand the reasons why. That goes for everyone here watching this video. And nothing, let me find the other two videos that I wanted to answer, and then we will do a couple of more Q&As. And I think I'm going to be making a special lesson on order flow and specifically structure analysis and order flow analysis, tying those two components together into one video, as opposed to one lesson on structure and one lesson on order flow. I think I'm going to combine the two so that we can have define our roadmap, and then define the routes that are more applicable to the swings that we're looking for. So I think I'm going to make a special lesson video on structure analysis and order flow together as a unit. All right, thank you very much, and please like and share, and post your questions either here in the channel or in the thread. Thank you very much, and good trading.